Tumeanza kuona mtiririko au mwenendo wa wanaharakati ndani ya region yetu hii kuanza kuvamia na kuingilia mambo yetu huku. Sasa kama kwao wameshadhibitiwa, wasije kutuharibia huku.
Yes, hero. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Oh yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Oh yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Sasa Mungu amevuruga.
Nilikuwa nafuatilia zoezi hili toka asubuhi na nimeona waandishi wa habari wako kote Tanzania wanaonesha yanayotokea huko. Sasa baada ya kufuatilia na kupata picha, nikaona sasa ni wakati muafaka kwa mimi kuja na kukamilisha zoezi hili.
On October 29, 2025, many parts of Tanzania saw big protests on election day and the day after. Police and soldiers moved into the streets. A curfew was put in place in Dar es Salaam. People were angry. Some videos showed buildings burning and police using force.
Wanapigwa kila mahali kwa mama yake. Mpaka arudi mkubwa tengea. Piga mwendo kasi ya Makuma. Mwendo kasi hapo.
Journalists and rights groups reported arrests and violence. These events also touched the Kenya-Tanzania border at Namanga, where crowds and police clashed and where people tried to cross from Kenya into Tanzania. Samia Suluhu'S was a vice president of Tanzania. In March 2021, the president then, John Magufuli, died suddenly. Samia took over as president under the constitution. This made her the first woman to lead Tanzania and the first president born in Zanzibar. Many people hoped she would change Magufuli's harsh style of rule. At first, Samia's early months gave hope. She opened up some spaces, she met foreign leaders, she promised better government and better ties with the world. Some diplomats and investors said she seemed more open than the previous government. But over time, critics say things got worse again. To understand why people are so angry now, we must look at several things that happened over the last years. Opposition leaders were arrested and blocked. Many opposition politicians faced arrests, court cases, or disqualification from elections. One prominent opposition leader, Tundu Lissu, has had legal trouble and was in prison on serious charges before the 2025 election. Human rights groups and news outlets say opposition figures have been targeted. The government says these actions are legal and needed for security. Secondly is the limit on social media and free speech. Journalists and media outlets have reported pressure. Some journalists say they were blocked, threatened, or had trouble reporting. When people cannot speak freely, many fear the system is closing down. International groups raised alarms about a shrinking space for critics. Thirdly is internet restrictions and disruptions. On election day and nearby days, reports said internet services were slowed or restricted. People used VPNs and other tools to share news. When governments limit online access during an election, people feel they cannot see what is happening and cannot speak to each other easily. Several news agencies reported internet disruptions and limited online access during the election unrest. Fourth is the heavy security during elections. On the 2025 election day, police and the military were seen in parts of Tanzania. Curfews were applied in big cities. The presence of soldiers in the streets made many people nervous and angry. International news outlets described strong security measures and clashes in some areas. These steps, arrests, media pressure, internet limits, and strong security are what many people point to when they call Samia's rule authoritarian or dictatorial. People use those words when they see leaders use state power to stop critics, close space for the opposition, or limit truth in public life. Samia Suluhu was vice president under President John Magufuli when Magufuli died in 2021. Samia used the constitution to become president. She served the rest of his term. This was lawful and peaceful. People in Tanzania and outside watched closely. For many, it was historic. A woman from Zanzibar now led the whole country. At first, Samia made choices that surprised some people. She brought back some foreign relations. She spoke to donors and diplomats. She seemed to move away from some Magufuli's most extreme policies. That gave hope that Tanzania could become more open. But power is complicated. The ruling party, Chama cha Mapinduzi, CCM, has governed Tanzania for decades. The party has strong structures and many supporters. Samia inherited that party and its networks. She must work inside that system. Over the next years, some critics say she stayed too close to older methods of control. She did not fully open the media space. She did not protect opposition leaders. And when the 2025 election approached, tensions rose. Elections are the point when leaders must prove they have real public support. In 2025, Tanzania held a general election. The government said it followed the law, but many opposition politicians reported they were blocked from running, arrested, or harassed. These actions made many people angry and distrustful of the vote. On the day of voting, human rights groups and news outlets reported protests, arrests, and heavy security presence. In Dar es Salaam and other towns, people took to the streets to say the election was unfair. The government moved quickly with curfews and security. Reports said many people were killed or seriously hurt in clashes. The election environment looked tense and contested. At the same time, the internet was disrupted in some places. People said social media and messaging apps were slow or blocked. When people cannot share what they see online, rumors can grow. People then feel their rights are taken away. International rights groups took note and warned about limits to freedom. When protests began in Tanzanian cities, they did not stay only inside town centers. They spread in energy and in meaning. Young people across the region watched. Many East Africans feel close to people in neighboring countries. They use the same language, the same music, the same social media. So when a problem appears in one country, youth in another country often feel it. At Namanga, the busy border town between Kenya and Tanzania, the tension rose. Videos and local reports show people lighting tires and trying to block roads. Some Kenyans on motorbikes tried to move towards the border to show support for protesters in Tanzania. Police in Kenya and Tanzania moved to stop them and to protect the border. The scene was chaotic. Trucks were stuck, shops closed, the border became a flashpoint. Some people use the word dictator for rulers who rule by force, who block opposition, and who limit free speech. Critics of Samia point to several actions they say fit this pattern.